Yo, what's up everyone? Yeah, welcome back. So in today's video, guys, I'll be talking about a liquidity and how to use it in your advantage, guys. Yeah. So if you're new in my channel, guys, please like, subscribe, and share the video with your friends, guys. Yeah. So what is a liquidity? A liquidity is said to be a currency pair's ability to be bought and sold without causing a significant change in its exchange rate, guys. Yeah. So the main function of a liquidity, guys, is to trap the retail traders actually. And then the other function of a liquidity, guys, is that it attracts the price, guys. When there's a liquidity, you will see the price coming to that area in such a way that it's looking for trading people, guys. Yeah, we have three different kinds of liquidities, guys. Yeah, so the first liquidity that we're having, we have a trend line liquidity. The second one, we're having a double top or equal highs liquidity, and then we're having a single liquidity, guys. Yeah, so when it comes to a trend line liquidity, guys, if we can see this area here, guys, the price has been respecting it, even this one below here. So the retail traders wanted to take advantage of this area, guys. They thought that the price is going to push to the downwards, but then the institutions used this thing as their advantage. They wanted to trap us, guys. Yeah, so the retail traders pushed the market to the upside, knowing very well that retail traders, they placed their stop loss somewhere around here, then they're looking to take this one to the downwards. So a similar thing happened when it comes to this one here. So the price has been respecting this area here. So if you are a retail trader, you would know that when it comes to this area, the market is going to push to the downwards, but then the institutions knew very well that they're going to trap retail traders in this area, so they push the price to the upside. So the last one is what you call a single high or a single low liquidity. So when it comes to this one, the price just create only a single liquidity or only a single high here, only to find that people would want the market to respect this area here, but then the institutions, they just take advantage and take out those people who are going to place the sell position in this area, hoping that the market is going to push to the downwards, guys. Yeah, so these are the three type of liquidity that we do have when it comes to smart money, guys. Yeah, so but then right now, let's go to the real chart and see where we can identify those liquidities and how we can use them in our favor, guys. Yeah. And now we're on our real chart, guys. Yeah, so I already marked my order blocks and my break of structures, guys. So right now I just want to show you where I would have marked or I would have identified my level of liquidity, guys. Yeah, so I'm just gonna start here, guys. So I open daily time frame one and ZDCHF, but then it doesn't matter which time frame or which pair that you are opening, there will always be a form of a liquidity before the market to mitigate the order block, guys. Yeah, so right now in this area, guys, we identify a single high order block. So if I may put this thing here, so the retail traders, they anticipated the market to push to the downwards when it reaches this level. They expected that the market is gonna respect this area and then continue pushing to the downwards. So let's say we had this order block here and then we identified this type of liquidity here. So how we would have taken this trade, guys, is just it was just going to be simple by just placing a sell position after realizing that our order block has an imbalance and there was a break of structure in this case, so we would have placed our sell position in this area here rather than avoiding taking this one in this case. Yeah, so after the market pushed to the downwards, guys, here we broke the structure here. So after we broke the structure, guys, we're now gonna identify our level of liquidity. So I may take this one right here as a equal high liquidity here, equal high type of a liquidity in this case, and then we're having our order block above them. So if I may extend this one to this side here, retail traders, they would have been trapped in this area, guys. Yeah, so what normally, guys, what normally happens, the institutions, they love to create an area where retail traders, they will be
trapped, guys. Yeah. So the retail traders, they knew very well that around this area there are some retail traders who gonna think that the price is gonna push to the downwards, but then they pushed the market to the upside up until it mitigated that order block. Remember, guys, after an order block it has been mitigated, it now becomes a liquidity, guys. Yeah. So one thing I can tell about this one here, so I would also identify this area here as a liquidity for this order block above here because of this order block, it is already been mitigated, guys. Yeah. So if I may go to this side, so we push to the downwards because the break of structure. So now we want to identify a liquidity coming to when it comes to this order block in this case. So when it comes to this order block, guys, we had a trend line liquidity here. So the price has been moving inside this channel, guys. So what was really happening, guys? The market the market was buying when it reaches in this area, pushing to the upside, and then when it reaches to the, I mean, when it's on the above here, it was selling. So what really happened here, guys? The institutions, they knew that people gonna buy in this area, expected this trend to continue pushing to the upside forever, but then they knew very well that there are retail traders who are expecting the price to push to the upside, and then they now took out this liquidity. The price pushed to the downwards. So this order block here, it has already been mitigated, guys. As I said, that after after an order block, it has been mitigated. It now becomes a liquidity. So I'm gonna mark this area here as a liquidity. So the price took out this low here, broke the structure, and we identified that there were two order blocks inside here. So how we would have taken this one, you guys, we would have realized that there were some form of a liquidity in this area. We had a trend line liquidity pushing to the downwards here, and we had a trend and below here. So what was happening in this case? The price has been pushing to the upside and downwards in this channel. So there were retail traders who were anticipating the price to push to the upside here or continue inside the channel, but then they got stopped out in this area. So later on, the price pushed to the upside and mitigated this order block, guys. Yeah. So remember, guys, the function of liquidity, guys, is to trap the retail traders, guys. So here the retail traders got trapped out. I mean, they got trapped, and then the price hit their stop losses in this case. So how we would have got this one, guys? We have a nice order block here. We have a nice imbalance here. There's a break of structure and there's a trend line liquidity below this one. So this order block, it was valid, guys, considering the way the price mitigated this order block, guys. Yeah, so it was enough for us. So since this order block, it has been mitigated, it now becomes a liquidity. So just gonna do this one like this as a liquidity, and then we now have what we call a trend line liquidity. So if I may put this one to in this case, guys. Yeah, so let me just extend this one up until this area and extended this one up until this area. So the price has been pushing to the upside in this channel actually. So what the retail traders they anticipated the price to hit this level here and then continue pushing to the downwards, but then the price broke out of this channel, of which there was a liquidity. The early sellers here got stopped out, guys. Yeah, so the price did took them out and then kept on consolidating, of which the price did give us some form of a liquidity around this area here. This one is going to be the equal high. So the price now came back inside the channel here and then took the early buyers here out. So there were those who were placing their stop losses here, hoping that the price is going to push to the downwards, but then they got stopped out in this area. So another thing I said that the function of a liquidity, guys, is to attract the price and to attract the retail traders. So this liquidity here, it was attracting the price to come and mitigate this order block. So when it comes to this order block, guys, there was a break of structure, there was a trend line liquidity, but there were some sort of different kinds of liquidity happening here. I don't see much about an imbalance, guys, but then this trade, it was enough for us to place a sell position when the market comes into this area. So if maybe we may continue with this one, we now realize that the trend changed and then we're now pushing to the upside. So we're having a break of structure here and then we're having a multiple order block. So if maybe let's say we would consider this order block in this case, we would realize that we do too have a level of liquidity, guys. Here we have a trend line liquidity here. If I may put this one here, and another thing in this case, you could realize that the price, it was inside this channel. So the retail traders, they expected the price when it reaches this area to continue pushing to the up, I mean, to the upside, but then that didn't happen. So another thing happened in this case. They expected the price to hit this level here and then continue pushing to the downwards, but then early sellers got stopped out in this area. So how it happened, guys, we had a break of, we had an order block here, we had a break of structure, and then we identified this trend line liquidity. So it was enough for us to take a buy position in this case, guys. Yeah. So I know that there are different kinds of entries that we are looking for when it comes to smart money. But then for today, the topic of today, guys, is just gonna identify the liquidity. I'm not gonna talk about those entries, guys. Yeah. So another thing, we broke the structure, meaning the trend was pushing to the upside. So how we would have got this one again, guys? We have a break of structure. We have a break of structure here. We have an order block, and then I would have identified my level of liquidity in this area. So there's a liquidity that is above this order block. That is the one, that attracts the price, guys. So if I may move this one also around this area here, there are some people who entered early around this area, hoping that the price is gonna push to the upside. Then hopefully their stop losses, they were below here, so they got stopped out. They were early buyers actually in this case. So if maybe you would have know that the price has that thing of the price has that thing of tripping, the retail traders would know that the function of this liquidity here, guys, it was to make you to get an entry, to get an early buy in this area, so that your stop loss is here and then it gonna get stopped out, and then the price gonna continue pushing to the upside, guys. Yeah. So this is where I would have identified my level of liquidity, guys. Yeah. So when we were kept on pushing to the upside, we had a nice order block there, but then what we can identify here, we would have identified our change of character in this case. Remember, after every an order block that has been mitigated, it's now becoming a liquidity, guys. Yeah. So here we had an order block, then it got mitigated several times here. So we would take this area here as a liquidity, guys. So I would have just take this thing and then just place it here. So the function of this liquidity, it was to attract the price to get the early sellers in this area here. So the price now kept on pushing to the upside until it mitigated that order block and then pushed to the downwards. And then right now we realize that the market change in direction is now pushing to the downward. So if we may come to this one in this case, so we had a break of structure here, and then how we would have identified a level of liquidity in this case, we were going to realize that we had a single high liquidity here. Retail traders, they anticipated the price to push to the downwards after it hit this area, but then that didn't happen. The price knew very well that there's an order block in this case. The price wanted you to take an early sell here, forgetting that there's a order block above that needs to be mitigated. So the price continued, as I said before, that after this order block got mitigated, it now becomes a liquidity, guys. Yeah. So if we may move to this side, we would realize that this order block has not yet been mitigated. So you're also gonna mark this area as our liquidity, guys. Here, even if I can start this one from this order block here, but then it's fine. Let me just leave it here, guys. Yeah, but then you would know that the function of this liquidity is to attract the price to come here. So if I may extend this one to this side here, you would have seen that retail traders, they would have thought that the price is gonna reverse soon as it reaches this area and then continue pushing to the downwards. But then that didn't happen. I'm sure the price did came to mitigate this order block here, then later on change in the direction. So this is how, guys, I do identify my order blocks, guys. But then this one, it was enough for us to take. Look at the imbalance that we're having here Look at this liquidity. Look at the break of structure. Look at the way the price mitigated this order block. Look at this. Look at the pattern that the market made here. So you would have seen that it was gonna be a good trade for us, guys. Yeah. So unfortunately, the price didn't the price didn't hit the 90% rule here. So for those who did caught an entry here, we were gonna get stopped out if we didn't lock our profit, guys. So that's why it is recommended that you trade defensively, guys, so that whenever anything happens in the market, you know that you are in the safe side, guys. Yeah. But for those who took a side here, and then didn't lock profit. Unfortunately, they got stopped out here. And then later on, the price came and reached our 90% rule here, guys. Yeah. So this is how I do mark my or identify my liquidity when it comes to order blocks, guys. Yeah. So I hope each and everyone got value out of this video, guys. Yeah. And then I hope for those who are looking for mentorship, guys. I am available. So whenever you want me, guys, you can contact me, guys. I'm gonna leave my WhatsApp numbers on the description of the video, guys, and you can also contact me on Telegram and again on our Instagram page, guys. Yeah. So thank you for watching our video, guys. Yeah. I'm gonna see you in the next one, guys. Cheers.